guys, this is not a round video, and you're gonna have to excuse my chair here. It makes stupid noise when I move around. But this is my 2025 in the bag. I'm making this video because by the time this comes out, I will be rocking and rolling at the 2025 Amateur World Championship over in Columbia, Missouri. And I want to let y'all know what I trust and what I love to throw and what I will be taking out there to absolutely dominate. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off with putt-and putters, I have the Electron Anode. I bagged 2 of them because, just in case. But these are not the exact same color. Close enough, whatever. They're 174 gram putters. They are 2.5 300. And what I love about them is the mold is pretty thin, It's not a thicker putter. It's not the thinnest they have, MVP makes, but it is a thinner putter. And with a glide of 3, I can put it up or put it straight, and I know that it's going to drop. I'm not going to put it up, and it's not going to, and it doesn't surprise me that it drops. It's a planned drop, and even with the wind, if I let it ride, then it's going to ride beautiful, and it's not going to lift like crazy. And then with 0-0 at the end, it's not something overstable. It's a point and shoot putter that I trust from as close for me as I am to the camera, all the way outside the circle, put it right at the basket, and it's just going to go straight into the chains. But next up are throw-in putters. Those 3 are the same, we'll do them last. First up, I'm going to start with this absolutely used workhorse of a disc in my bag. This is a Cosmic Electron Lab Second Proxy. Okay, proxies aren't typically extremely understable. This one, however, is extremely understable, and I don't know if y'all can tell the profile of the disc, but it's definitely not, how would you say, mint condition. Definitely not out of the box. But with it being this beat up, I can throw it on a knifing angle, extremely hard, extremely high, and it'll go flat and fly straight, even turn over. But that's not what it's used for. Most of the time, it's used as a very trusted, very easy to throw and easy to control upshot disc. Pop it on a touch of hyzer, and it's just gonna flip flat, and go dead straight. Beautiful flight. It's mesmerizing because it hits all angles in one flight whenever I throw it hard, and it's just extremely good. After it, there is my Ace Club PDGA Neutron Pilot. Now, I got this from a buddy of mine, Dylan Cooper. He did the Ace Club membership, didn't like this disc, handed it to me. So what it is now is just a point and shoot putter. If I throw it straight to the touch of Annie, then it's just going to go dead straight. There's no turnover, there's no fade, no right to left movement at all. It's just point and shoot, and then at the end of flight, whenever it slows down, even then it doesn't fade. It's like it just loses all air and drops straight to the ground. There may be a little bit of deviation in flight, but either way, it's just steadily dropping to the ground. Next up from it is the Neutron Tempo, and it is 173 grams. This pilot doesn't even have grams on it. But 173 gram Tempo, if you know it, you love it, and you know what it is. It's an overstable approach disc. It's 4402.5. Of course, there's more overstable discs, but this one is amazing. Low profile. This one has a little bit of a warp to it because of how much I've been practicing for AM Worlds. But I trust this as my forehand approach disc mostly. You're going to see me putting this high, you're going to see me putting it on a slight Annie, and it's just going to come out and fade right. Backhand too, put it high, slight Annie, whatever, come out, fade left. It's just a trusted overstable approach disc. Now the 3 that I set back are 3 discs that if you know me or you watch the videos, you know that I throw a lot, and that's the Watt. It is an absolutely incredible putter to me. If they were a little thinner, I'd probably putt with them. But The Watt is a throwing putter that can just do almost anything to me. Backhand, of course. I don't forehand these. The reason I keep 3 of them is because all 3 are in different stages of their beat in, of use. For me, this red one is the most used, it's the oldest, it's the most beat in. It is a hyzer flip to flat with a fade, and with a turn, and it does have some fade at the end if I throw it slower. But what's so amazing about the Watt that differs in other throwing discs is that no matter how hard you throw it, it's resistant to flipping and turning. It does flip and turn, but like I said, it's resistant. And what that is that if you start on hyzer or you start flat, whatever, it doesn't matter what amount of power, it doesn't just dump. It's not just going to go up and dump over. It's going to have, off hyzer, it's going to have a slight flip up, and my red one is going to have a slow drift right. And that's this red one. This white one is the middle disc, off hyzer again. It's just up to flat. This one does not turn as much as the red one, if at all, but it just pushes straight with a slight fade left. And then this yellow greenish one is the one where I throw on hyzer, and it rarely comes off of hyzer if I throw it on hyzer, and then it's going to have the most fade left. That's why I keep all 3 of them to be able to know what I need to throw and be able to get it, because like I said, this red one isn't going to fade like this yellow green one. On to the next. The next disc type are my mids, starting in the main compartment of the bag. And first up is the Detour, a 178 gram Hyzer Club 2024 membership stamp Detour. I can't do a stock stamp disc. I prefer stock stamp discs because they're easier to replace, but I was able to get my hands on 2 of these, and these are money compared to the stock. The stock for me are too understable. Very friendly mids for all players of any caliber, but for the shot shape that I wanted and the shot shape I needed the Detour to accomplish, these are it, and there really wasn't a good replacement for it. The reason these are so much better is because these can handle the power that I want them on. They are still unstable. They're still hyzer flip to drift right, and maybe a touch of fade at the end if I don't throw it hard enough. But I can put a lot of power on these discs and trust them just come up and flip up to flat, and it's just going to penetrate forward. There's not going to be a lot of right movement like there would with a stock Detour for me. I might get a little bit of right movement, but it's all about just flipping up off a flat and going straight. That's why I love these. Now the next mold is the Reactor. This is all around an amazing mid. This white one is an older one. It doesn't even have the grams stamped on the back. I want to say this is a 171 gram Reactor, and it's older, so compared to the new ones, there's not a lot of difference, but this older white one is definitely flatter from the separation line here. It's just board flat. And with it being older and a little lighter, it's amazing. It's amazing for hyzer flip to flat. Okay, like I said, the Detour is gonna drift, and this can't take all of my power. That's why I have this white Reactor, because it can handle a lot more power than the Detour can. The next Reactor is this blue one. It's a lot newer, years newer than that white one. 173 gram. It has a little more up after the joining line right there, and it's not just newer for being stable, but it has more glide than this white one. It very much shows to me with how much I throw them, but I just put it high, either put it flat or a touch of hyzer, and it's just gonna push straight a little bit, but it's gonna have that guaranteed fade. Now the last one is a 177 gram Proton Pyro. Now I originally was throwing neutron pyros, but I found they beat in very fast and got inconsistent after beating in. So I switched these Proton Pyros that are absolutely money. This is a world stamp one. Stamp doesn't matter. Stock Proton Pyros, all the same, amazing. This is like my Tempo. It is a trusted forehand disc, overstable. Any hyzer, whatever, doesn't matter. I trust this disc. Backhand too, amazing. I trust it to fade. That's what this disc is for, is that I trust it to fade. Next I'm going to cover, this did mints, those are 5 speeds. Next I'm going to cover 6 to 9 speeds, that grouping. 6 to 9 speed discs, control drivers, the lower speed discs that in a lot of situations fly just as far and with more accuracy than your 12, 13, 14.5 speeds. Starting off, mine is the relay. Okay, I did not throw this disc for years. I don't know why. I used to hate it, but in the last about half a year, not even half a year really, I have fell in love with the relay. This one is 174 gram Neutron, numbers 65-21. If you ask me, those numbers are not that accurate. If I had to number it, it would be like a 65 neg 1.5, 1.5 or neg 1.52. The relay is, for as slow as it is very resistant to turn. And what that shows is under a lot of power, it's going to flip to flat off of hyzer pretty fast, but it's not just gonna dump over. It's not gonna keep turning over hard, okay? Once it gets to flat off of hyzer, then if it does drift, it's a slow drift and it's late flight. It doesn't just it's up, flat. It'll even push straight before drifting right. And it's absolutely mesmerizing. Next is the Sarah Hokom Crave. Now this is a disc that gets traded in and out. I either throw this Sarah Hokom Crave or I have an older Sarah Hokom Crave over on my rack over there. This one is a 173 gram one, 6.5, 5, neg 1, 1. It flies more like a neg 2, 1. It's closer to the numbers of the relay than the relay is itself. But this is a quick flip and turn disc, practically a roller disc. Not much else to say. If I point it like this, I can throw it really almost vertical like that Proxy, and it's still going to flip up to flat and still turn over. Very easy to burn over, but sometimes you just need that quick flip disc, and this is mine. Now the next disc is a disc that has somehow worked its way into the bag, and that's the brand new Streamline Neutron Turbulence. This is the special edition. I love this beautiful blue. This one is 173 grams. Now if you don't know about the Turbulence, it is very low glide, overstable fairway. What differs between this 7-speed overstable disc and other overstable discs is, again, I don't feel a tinge on my elbow. I don't feel a tinge on my wrist. And for anyone saying you don't feel it, then me personally, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Because when you throw a really overstable disc, then you're going to be fighting that disc for control. That's the whole point. This Turbulence, however, I feel like I'm almost throwing a relay when it leaves hand. It does not fight you out of hand. It does not fight to fly out of hand like other overstable discs, like the next disc. Instead, when I throw it, very gentle, very soft, very controllable, very friendly. I cannot stress that enough. It is an extremely friendly disc, even for slower speed arms. But once it leaves your hand, that's when it's going to show its characteristics of being overstable. it is gonna go out on a hyzer, and then it's just gonna, once that nose dips down, it's gonna drop down. Now in wind, you're gonna see a lot more fade. This is a very easy disc for the wind to catch, I have found, but when it's just no wind, it goes up, and as soon as that nose comes over, whether it's off of Annie or on hyzer, then it's gonna drop to the ground. It has a glide of 2, does not have a lot of glide, and I love that about it. I can trust it not to just go shooting off of my line, and that's beautiful. Next is a Lab Second Cosmic Neutron Volt. This is an overstable 8-speed. That's about it. Throw it on hyzer, fade left, throw it flat, push straight for a second, fade left. I can even forehand this disc, does the same, but it's just my overstable 8-speed fairway driver that everyone needs. Next mold is the Tesla. I have a newer Tesla that's very beat in and an older Tesla that's not as beat in. And I gotta say, Tesla's a Tesla. There's not much variation. This is 172 grams. This one doesn't have its sticker anymore, but I want to say it's 174 grams if I'm remembering correctly. This orange one, extremely beat in. I can get this one now to hyzer flip and even turn. And then this one is not as beat in, even though it's older. It is just straight, flat, hyzer left or hyzer left. I have these because they're thinner. These are more like your high-speed drivers. Very easy to control, very good. I can also forehand these very far like my distance drivers. Next up is the last grouping of discs, my distance drivers. I'm gonna start with the 12 speeds here. This is where I get variation. I leave the MVP Umbrella, MVP Axiom Streamline, but it's only for 3 discs. So first off is this DD Enforcer, Lucid Plastic, 173 grams. This found my way into the bag. This and one other disc over there in 13 speeds. It's very funny. Very funny story. So my car died, just the alternator shut down, no juice in the battery, couldn't get it anywhere. Took 2 hours to get it 7 miles down the road to the garage, and what's funny is I put it in the garage Friday, had a tournament Saturday, left my bag in, couldn't get it. So I had to piece together a temporary bag with whatever discs I had laying around, and in the store, heartsoldiscs.com. I couldn't replace everything, but I ended up going to the field and trying out just a bunch of random discs. And I found that this Lucid Enforcer, it is a 12 speed that I didn't have covered, okay? With a slow arm or a down tempo, then it behaves just like any time lapse. But when I throw this Enforcer hard, it actually has flip that time lapse doesn't. Now it's not like flippy like an S-Line DD3 flippy, but off of hyzer, and I'm talking about hard like my max distance power, then it'll come off of hyzer, flip flat, hold for a second, and fade left. And that's something that I couldn't find a time lapse to do. Under max distance power, flip up to flat, hold straight, then fade. So I love this. Friendlier than a regular time lapse. Speaking of regular time lapse, this is a Lab Second Neutron time lapse, 172 grams. The reason this is Lab Second, not stock stamp, is because I found through throwing quite a few time lapse, when they first came out, stock, special, Lab Seconds were the friendlier of the options. They were not as overstable, the handful that I threw compared to the stock or the special edition, and it didn't take as much to wrench over on them. Now, when I say wrench over on them, I mean the time lapse is that overstability that I was talking about earlier, where I feel it on my elbow or I feel it in my wrist, where I really have to fight the disc to get it to move and take shape. That, I mean, it is what it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Next is the DD3. The DD3, C-Line DD3 is my backup for the time lapse. It's new, a lot newer than that lap second, so the nose is a lot sharper, but it's exact same flight as the time lapse. My other time lapse, the exact same flight as the lap second. My other time lapses don't fly like the lap second. This C-Line DD3 does. That's why it's in here. 3 13 speeds and a 14.5. So to start off these, I have the Catalyst. Now, just like some of the discs in my bag, I cannot preach enough about this mold. I do not understand why more people aren't throwing this disc. I believe I said that right. I might not be Englishing correctly. But it is a 13 5.5 neg 2. Perfect numbers, explains the flight amazingly. This one doesn't have a sticker on it, this one doesn't have a sticker on it. That pretty much dates these. Pretty old discs. 2 pretty old discs. These are very beat in, especially this pink one. I actually lost it for some months and came back. But these are my go-to for distance. I throw these very hard. These take all the power I put into them. On hyzer, I'd probably say about that degree right there. Throw it out, flips up to flat, rides to the right, and then fades like beautiful S-line max distance shots. I can even throw them on hard annies. They'll pan right and then finish out, fade left. Absolutely beautiful. Easy to control, doesn't hurt to throw at all. And even on forehands, they're high enough speed that even though they're a neg 2, throw them hyzer forehand, flip up to flat, maybe a little turn, and then fade right. Just an absolutely beautiful crusher of a disc. Again, don't understand why people don't throw these. Amazing disc. I push them like the Watt as much as I can when I can. Next up is that other disc I mentioned when I said I was testing things for a secondary bag. This is a DD Fusion Defender. The reason I have this in here is because it slots after my Catalyst where an Octane usually was. But the difference between an Octane and this is this Fusion Defender, it has more turn. Okay, the numbers are 13503. It is 170 grams. What I love about this Fusion Defender is that I can put it flat and it's going to have a little ride to the right before it comes back left. If I put it on hyzer with a lot of power, it'll flip up flat and then fade left. It's for 13 speed. Again, 13503. Very friendly disc. Does not take a lot of power to get it to fly far. It's just very good, very easy on the arm, very easy on the wrist, very easy on the shoulder. Except for that stuff. But last but not least, this is my absolute max distance driver. The Eagle McMahon Fission Wind Dragon. 173 grams. It is a Fission Dimension, 14 and a half speed. This is an absolute bomber of a disc. This is a disc that I trust to get 430, 440, 450 plus kind of distance. This is an S-line. This is a straight flip up fade. It can do it all, forehand, backhand, whatever. Either way, this is my furthest flying disc. Don't know if I went into enough detail for y'all, but I went into enough for me. So I'm gonna get out of here, and I hope y'all like this video. Go down, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications if that's still there. Don't know how old I am. But again, We'll be in Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, 2025 M Worlds. If you'd like to support me, just go to heartsoulbis.com and buy something. You know, if you want to support something, why not support local? But I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.